In my most recent favourites video, I talked about Skillshare and some of the courses that I'd taken and learned a lot from over the course of that month. In particular, I highlighted Nathaniel Drew's course on intentional documentation. I've been following Nathaniel now for probably a couple of years, and I found all of his videos have this sort of journal documentary type vlog, which is always very reflective. It makes you think about things. It's not shallow, it's quite deep, and he's one of those creators that makes you think about life and makes you want to really get out there and engage with life a lot more and see what the world has to offer. In one of Nathaniel's recent videos, he talked about a Skillshare course that he made on intentional documentation. This really stood out to me because it's exactly in line with my approach and my desire for a more intentional and purpose-filled life. So, in this video, I'm going to break down some of the key lessons that I took from his Skillshare course and just show you some examples of the things that I've been doing to start practicing intentional documentation myself. Firstly, intentional documentation. One of the key principles that Nathaniel teaches in this course is that intentional documentation is designed to allow you to move through life with as much meaning and purpose as possible. It seems to me that by documenting your life intentionally, it offers you the opportunity to look back at a collection of memories that you've intentionally made, filled with details that naturally over time will have been lost. It's not about journaling mindlessly or collecting this vault of digital memory stored away somewhere that you're never going to see. It's about being intentional and purposeful and curating all of this content in a way that really benefits you in the long run. The next lesson is less, oftentimes, is more. With photography as an example, instead of amassing hundreds of thousands of photographs, which I preach about regularly, the idea is to set a limit, focusing on quality rather than quantity. This can have the effect of encouraging you to not only pay much closer attention to your surroundings, but spend more quality time away from documenting once you've reached that limit. You don't need to record every second of your life. And often in storytelling, it's about what you don't show. Doing this will not only save you hard drive space, but each photo will mean so much more because they were intentional and you remember the moment far more clearly. Navigating a blank page. In the course, Nathaniel highlights how difficult it can sometimes be when you're first starting out, navigating that sort of blank space, that blank page. In the course, he encourages us to set restrictions, work within a theme or within a framework. These restrictions naturally encourage creative thinking, and I think that's something I intimately already knew from working with haiku over the last couple of months. When navigating that blank page, Nathaniel also encourages not to edit or delete yourself as you're going along. It's actually easier to do perhaps by taking a more analog approach. So perhaps instead of using a digital solution such as your phone or an iPad or a computer, you handwrite your thoughts or use a typewriter or something similar. And you just let yourself go with the flow. Don't stop. There's time to come back and edit and reflect later, but just getting your thoughts down, particularly in something like a journal, is really beneficial to encouraging your creativity, becoming the reporter of your life. I think this is one of my favourite takeaways from the entire course actually, taking that sort of journalistic approach, thinking about every situation as it comes up, you know? So thinking about all of the things involved, thinking about your environment, thinking about who you're with, thinking about how you feel, just documenting everything how a journalist might in a certain situation. Now, one of the ways that Nathaniel kind of encourages us to do that is actually by using the voice recorder app on your phone. This is something that I've never really considered. I always thought, okay, yeah, maybe you can pull out your phone and record some video, or you can take photos. Those are pretty natural ways of documenting your life. But using the voice recorder, I hadn't really thought about, to be honest. But one of the benefits of using a voice recorder is that actually you can just sort of set it down, allow yourself to still remain present in the moment, yet this captures so much information about the conversations that you're having, about the sounds that are in your natural environment, the street noises or the wildlife or any music that's playing in the background, or just general clatter, say, of a restaurant, knives, forks, and eating, and just the general drone of conversation around you. I had to start using this approach almost immediately, and I've recorded a lot of different situations since, which have been amazing to listen back on. But I think actually this approach has allowed me to capture one of my favourite memories that will stay with me forever. This was at a recent appointment I was at with my other half. We went to listen to our son's heartbeat at a maternity appointment. And that is the sound of my son's beating heart that I captured just mindlessly in the background of an appointment. I just opened the voice recorder, put it down on the table, and just listened. And when we got home and we listened to that back, it just created this incredible connection with that moment that will hold dear forever. So if anything, I'd recommend trying the voice recorder approach. It's honestly so amazing. And if you can back up all of these things as well, I know I mentioned about trying not to have hard drives full of things, but I think the exception that I would have is with voice recordings. And in fact, I may even look to a more analog approach for that as well and try and get like a tape recorder or something similar. I don't know. But at the moment, this is working really well for me. And just some final notes and thoughts on the course. Now, Nathaniel's energy during this course is absolutely contagious. Much like his YouTube videos, it left me feeling so inspired. It's one of the few courses that I've taken where I'm immediately documenting as I'm going along. I'm trying out all of these different methods, and it's been such a trip, honestly. It's been really great. It's definitely going to change my approach to life, how I'm going to be documenting things going forward. And generally, I think his approach is 100% correct. I think it's more important than ever that we learn to take a step back from the digital world and start experiencing life intentionally and with purpose. This process isn't a quick fix necessarily, but nor does it require Marcus Aurelius levels of stoic dedication. You can't win with this approach, you can't win at being mindful and purposeful. But what you can do is create this amazing collection of memories that, because they were approached in this way, will hold so much more meaning, sentimentally and otherwise. I can almost guarantee that if you stick to this approach, you're going to learn something about yourself, and certainly the things that you enjoy and the things that you find value in. And if not, it's something amazing that you can show people down the road, of moments that you experienced, of memories that you made, many of which will be lost to people of our generation because everything is stored online on their social media, or they weren't present enough to remember them. Anyway, that's my really quick overview of Nathaniel's course on intentional living. If you'd like to see more, I'd honestly recommend checking out his YouTube channel. It's an incredible source of inspiration, and I know you'll love it. I don't think he's going to get much from my promotion of him, but I really enjoy his content and I want to promote him all the same. And if you'd like to see some more from me on intentionality and purpose-filled living, then hit that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday at 9 AM GMT. But until next time, ta-ra.